Hey viewers, this is A to Z Customs here with another video for you. What are the most common problems with owning classic vehicles? Now luckily I got my buddy Anthony here again today. As you can see, he's got about 8, 9, 10 classic cars here in his garage. He's a collector, been doing this stuff for many years, and he's here to kind of tell you some of the different issues that come along with owning some of these classic vehicles and some of the different problems that you'll probably end up facing owning one.
What's going on, A to Z subscribers? Anthony back here for another video. So we're talking about the common things that you will find while owning a classic car. Now these vary from all different kind of aspects to, you know what you're kind of getting, and then to the other extreme is you think you got something good, turns out it's a real piece of shit. Now take for example this 68 GTO we picked up the other weekend. Now we got a really sweet deal on this and we knew the owner of it. Not going to disclose what we paid for it, but some common things when you buy a car, and this is what you're going to have to face while owning this as well. Now the car is being 50 years old, you're going to run into stuff. Many things owning, cars like this is you'll have your typical rust on the floors. That's kind of typical, no weather stripping here, and you'll get some holes, but you kind of figured that. We seen it whenever we first bought it. Some things that are hidden though that people should really look for is when they look at a car, when there is paint, they think it's a nice straight car and ain't nothing wrong with it. What you need to do, and what happens is sometimes you look at the car and you'll get it, whatnot, but you'll find out real quick that it's a Bondo bucket, and you're gonna have to go back over it. Perks to owning one of these. Bringing you over to the front over here. We've got a motor out of a different year vehicle. As you can see, the radiator and everything is stripped out, and got some custom made motor mounts down there. Let's see. Some other things, customization that people do is you don't know what they done and what they're there for. For this one, it's got wires going everywhere, and he must have had some digital tacks, or he had some speakers or something in it that wasn't factory, and trying to run those down without knowing what is there, it can be difficult. Another things are bolts. You never know, people, sometimes you'll get a car and you're missing some bolts, and you just want to go in there and just throw in any kind of bolt that'll fit, not knowing that you need a different type, you need a certain type of bolt for the certain kind of aspect of what you're using for the certain application that it is being used for. Next with the customization is, sometimes you'll come with missing parts, and now you gotta source the parts, but you don't know what anything is. Luckily, if you're able to decode the engine, you're able to look up for the different brackets and fans and whatnot on the interweb. So another aspect of owning an old car is we're going to dive into the interior of the car. Now, depending on what you paid for it, you might get a car with a very nice interior, but if not, then you're going to have an interior that's kind of similar to this right here. Now, this is all weathered and aged and everything, so you're going to kind of guess it, especially for what we paid for it. Now, parts for these things, they're getting harder. They're far and few between nowadays. What a lot of people have to do is they actually have to take out either the dash, the seats, and kind of custom fab them themselves, kind of fix them up, unless they want to spend a couple $100 and buy a repop. Repop is like a newer version of it, so they're getting like a new mold, not out of like the old school plastics and metals. They're making out of like a cheap plastic, some of them, and that's pretty much what repop is. Just they're renovating it pretty much, or remaking it, which can get very expensive, especially if you get into like kind of very one-off cars. Door panels, they're kind of a difficult one too. Luckily nowadays people are repopping stuff, so I mean if you got a Mustang, Camaro, Firebird, El Camino, Chevelle, etc., they're you can go to year one jegs, you can go to MPD, National Parts Depot. Now GTOs and Chevelles like this one right here, they're very similar, but you can see subtle differences as in badging, where the armrests and stuff are, etc. Now for Trans Ams, you can get you a Camaro and you can flip-flop interior parts. They're pretty much identical. from the fender back. So another aspect of going from the original, getting the original car that's been kind of changed, to go into a full-on full-on clusterfuck. So now this is a 67 Cutlass with a 425 Oldsmobile motor that was set up for drag racing. So you can see over there on the fender well, they've got all their coils and etc. over there. Trying to find linkages, because when you do the engine swaps, you got to redo some linkages, and you got to find all these different kind of brackets. You got to make new motor mounts for said engine. Luckily, if you're swapping an Oldsmobile into an Oldsmobile or Pontiac into an Oldsmobile, they pretty much have identical body or motor mounts, so you don't have to really worry there. But you just got to go ahead and trace all these. I mean, and it's kind of difficult, especially if you don't really know or can get in contact with the previous owner that did all the work himself or herself. It just makes it a little bit difficult. The easiest thing might be just to rip all that off and then start from scratch again. Thanks for watching another video. Please smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, tell all your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. We're out.